My name is Ethan Taylor, a man who once believed love and happiness were the natural rhythm of life. But everything changed just 1 week before my wedding. I stepped through the living room doorway and froze. Time seemed to hold its breath. Standing before me was Hannah, my fiancée, breathtaking as ever. She wore a sleek black cocktail dress, a string of pearls, sheer stockings, and high heels. She was stunning, yet something was off. Her eyes. They didn't hold the warmth I knew so well. Instead, they flickered with hesitation, avoidance. A strange unease gripped my chest, though I couldn't immediately understand why. "Hannah, what's wrong?" I smiled, stepping forward to embrace her. She flinched, her voice uncertain. I didn't expect you home so early." I frowned. "Why? What's going on?" I kissed her cheek lightly, but she barely reacted. "I wanted to come home early, to start preparing for the honeymoon." She looked away. "Ah, you surprised me." Her voice wavered. I forced a chuckle, trying to shake the doubt creeping in. "So, where are you headed? All dressed up?" She hesitated. "I just need some time to relax." "Where?" I asked, my smile fading. "A hotel downtown," she murmured, still avoiding my gaze. "I'll be there alone." Silence filled the space between us. I exhaled sharply. "You're going alone?" She shifted uneasily. I'm meeting a friend." There it was. The unease twisted into something sharper. "A friend?" I pressed. "Who?" She didn't answer. Instead, she stared out the window, as if searching for a way out. "Hannah." My voice was firmer now. "Is it a man?" Her lips trembled. "It's not like that." "You misunderstand." "Not like that?" I repeated, my voice tightening. "You're spending the weekend at a hotel, 1 week before our wedding, and I'm just supposed to believe that." She swallowed hard. I need time to think about everything." The words hit like a slap. I let out a hollow laugh. "You need time? Time for what? To be with another man while we're planning a life together?" She didn't answer. The silence hurt more than anything she could have said. "Who is he?" I demanded. She hesitated before finally whispering, "Scott. Scott Parker." A chill ran through me. Scott Parker, my boss. My stomach clenched as realization slammed into me. "My boss?" I echoed, disbelief turning into fury. "That bastard? You?" My voice caught. "You slept with him?" Hannah said nothing. Her hands clutched the door handle, her guilt written all over her face. "You don't deserve me," I said, each word laced with finality. "Our wedding is off." I turned and walked away. She didn't call me back. I didn't know how long I stood there, staring at nothing, before I noticed it, the note she had left on the table. "Next week, I start a new chapter in my life, and I have to do this before it's too late." One sentence, one cold, calculated betrayal. I sat down, gripping the note, my mind spiraling. How could she believe this was a step toward something better? How could she think deceit would lead to happiness? Then, my eyes landed on her phone. She had left it behind in her rush to leave. Without thinking, I picked it up. My fingers hovered over the screen before unlocking it. A flood of messages appeared. Her and Scott. Sweet words, hidden plans. It wasn't just betrayal. It was premeditated. A fresh wave of anger surged through me, not just as a man who had lost the woman he loved, but as someone whose trust had been utterly, ruthlessly shattered. My hands shook, my chest burned. I needed to do something. But what? I had to stay calm. The front door creaked open again, and footsteps echoed through the room. Caroline stepped inside, her face streaked with tears. She didn't speak at first, just stood there, staring at me as if I were the judge and she the condemned. "Ethan, you can't do this." Her voice was soft but hollow, lacking sincerity. "You can't just walk away. I love you, but I need time. I need to fix this so we can start over." "Start over?" A bitter laugh escaped me. "There's nothing left to start over. Caroline, you destroyed everything." She took a step closer, but I moved back. I wasn't playing this game anymore. "I know I messed up," she whispered, voice shaking. "I didn't know what else to do. Scott told me I had to take control, to prove I wasn't powerless in this relationship. I just wanted to be equal." The sheer absurdity of her words nearly made me laugh. It felt like some cruel joke, Scott's influence, her reasoning, all of it. And now, she stood here, expecting me to forgive her as if the past could be erased. You think I'll understand? My voice was hoarse. You think I'll just move on? Some things can't be undone, Caroline. Some betrayals can't be forgiven. I turned to leave. Then, my phone buzzed. A message, unknown number. We need to talk. Scott is dead. The air was sucked from the room. My mind reeled. The world around me blurred into insignificance. Caroline's eyes widened, her breath hitching. I can't believe it, I murmured. My hands felt numb. All this, for him, and now he's gone. She said nothing, just stood there, silent as stone. The cold, oppressive silence wrapped around us, suffocating. This was it, the end of everything. I met her gaze one last time, but whatever was left in her expression, regret, fear, sorrow, I didn't care anymore. I turned and walked away. My phone buzzed again. A call, another unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. A firm voice crackled through the line. Ethan, this is the police. We need you to come in. We have information about Scott Parker's case. His wife, Loretta, is in custody. Loretta? The name barely left my lips. She killed him? She shot Scott multiple times. We need your statement. The words hit like a punch to the gut. Loretta, not Caroline, not some unknown enemy, his own wife. My breath came shallow. I couldn't be here anymore, not in this room, not in this house, not near Caroline. I had to leave. As I stepped outside, one thought consumed me. How did it come to this? At the station, I sat across from a weary-looking officer, his face hardened by years of witnessing tragedies like mine. The investigation confirms that Loretta knew about her husband's affair, he said grimly. I leaned back, staring past him. Of course she did. Everything had been spiraling toward this moment. And none of us had seen it coming. She had found out through an anonymous letter. The officer's voice was steady, but the weight of his words pressed down on me like a storm. Someone from the company sent it to her, he continued. That's how she learned Scott had been secretly meeting with Caroline. She was furious, and that anger, it pushed her to the breaking point. So Loretta killed Scott because of this? I asked, though deep down, I already knew the answer. The officer gave a grim nod. Yes, she confronted him that night, brought a gun, didn't give him a chance to explain. The living room turned into a crime scene. A chill ran down my spine. I tried to picture it, her rage, her pain. A wife pushed past the edge, left with nothing but betrayal and a loaded gun. But I couldn't ignore another thought gnawing at me, Caroline. She had played her part in this mess. So had I. Scott's death wasn't just a tragedy, it was the consequence of a series of wrong choices, his, Caroline's, Loretta's, and mine. When I returned home, the emptiness hit me. Caroline was gone. I had lost her completely. But the truth was, I had lost her long before she walked away, and maybe, just maybe, I had stopped loving her long before I admitted it to myself. Yet, even knowing that, the ache remained a deep, unshakable pain that had no name. I had nothing left but memories. But one thing was clear, I would never go back. Some betrayals cost too much, and I had paid enough. Now, I had to pick up what was left of me and move forward. I thought time would heal me. It didn't. Every morning, I woke up to the same emptiness, the same silence, the same weight of everything that had happened. Scott. Caroline. The betrayals, the whispered lies, the cold, awkward conversations in the living room. It all haunted me. And yet, one day, through the haze of regret, something shifted. I realized I couldn't keep living like this. Not because I forgave her, but because I refused to let this destroy me. So I threw myself into work. The long hours, the endless meetings, the constant pressure, everything became a distraction, a way to escape my own mind. But every night, when I came home to an empty house, the loneliness crept back in. I tried reaching out to friends, to family. They all told me I had done the right thing, that I was better off. that I had dodged a bullet. But none of them understood what it felt like to be broken in this way. To know you had once loved someone who shattered everything you believed in. I couldn't pretend I was fine. Because I wasn't. And I had no idea when I would ever feel like myself again. Then, one day, something unexpected happened. I was sitting in my usual coffee shop when a woman walked in. She scanned the room, searching for someone. Then, her eyes met mine. I recognized her instantly. Sophia. She hesitated, as if unsure whether to approach me, but eventually, she did. We had never talked about my past, never mentioned Caroline. But in Sophia's eyes, I saw something rare. Understanding. She knew. She knew I was still trying to piece myself back together. She knew I was still haunted by betrayal. She knew I hadn't fully escaped its shadow. And yet, she didn't try to fix me. She just sat across from me, her voice gentle as she said, "I don't know how to make things better for you, but I'll be here." I looked at her, at the quiet kindness in her face. Sophia wasn't Caroline. And maybe I couldn't love her the way I had once loved Caroline. But there was one thing I knew for certain: Sophia had never betrayed me. She had walked into my life. And she had chosen to stay. Even though I was far from whole. As the days passed, something changed. I began to see things differently. Life wasn't about what I had lost. It was about what I still had. I couldn't erase the past. But I didn't have to live in it forever. Sophia never tried to replace Caroline. She was just herself. And that was enough. One evening, as we sat together in my home, she asked, "How do you feel about Caroline now?" I didn't answer right away. The anger was gone. But what remained was regret. Not because I wanted Caroline back. But because of what could have been, what we had ruined, what we had wasted. I regret it, I admitted, my gaze drifting to the window, where the sky was painted in hues of gold and crimson. But I can't change the past. I can only decide my future. Sophia said nothing. She just reached for my hand and held it. And in that quiet moment, I finally felt something I hadn't in a long time. Peace. In the end, I learned something. Trust is the foundation of everything. Once it's broken, it's nearly impossible to rebuild. But I also learned something even more important. If you keep living in the past, you'll miss the chance to create a future. Betrayal wounds deeply. But it doesn't have to destroy you. You can hurt. You can fall. But what matters most is that you stand up again. Because life doesn't wait. Every sunrise is another chance. A chance to heal. A chance to love. A chance to trust again.